What does culture mean to me? It's a broad question. Hello, my name is Kishaka Ketch. You're watching Intern Diaries. Welcome to week 4. Camera.
Give me a break.
You know, I just found out that as of this afternoon, I would have worked here at the Pulse a total of 60 hours, which sounds completely insane to me because I doesn't feel like I've worked for nearly half that long. I even feel wrong for calling it work because should you be having this much fun while you're working? I don't know. I guess we'll see later on in life. But anyway, 2 seconds into the video and I've already lost track. If you liked last week's video, I have a feeling that you're probably gonna like this week's. This video won't be like the first 2, actually won't be like any other video that I uploaded before, but I only uploaded 3 so far, so it's going to be a short and sweet and somewhat narcissistic, but that's arguable, short and sweet video demonstrating one that I would have submitted to the upcoming short film festival if I wasn't an intern at the Pulse. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about culture, my own personal identity and how that kind of interlinks with it and how it influences it, affects it, shapes it, molds it, and how the culture that I grew up in shaped me. I've lived in many places before living in Geelong. At the tender age of 5, Australia was already the 3rd country that I've ever lived in. I was born in Sudan, grew as a toddler in Egypt, and arrived as a kindergartner in Sydney in a town called Auburn without a single word of English besides hello, goodbye, good night, and a few cuss words here and there. That was in 2003, and in 2006 my large family and I packed our bags and moved to this city, Geelong. I didn't know it then, but Geelong has become the only place in the world that I've been able to call home. It's not only because I've spent majority of my life here. It's not only because the primary school that I attended is now the primary school my 2 little brothers attend. It's not because the high school that I graduated from in 2014 is the high school my 2 little sisters attend. It's not only because 4 generations of my family live here or around the area. It's because the rich and the abundantly diverse culture of Geelong is one that I allowed to shape me. When I came here to Australia, little 5-year-old me had no understanding of what culture and heritage is, probably until my first day of school when I realized how different everything and everyone was. For a couple of years after that, even after I learned how to speak, read and write in English, the culture at home was still very different to the culture outside of the home. And because I grew up here, I found that the culture that I was exposed to outside of the home also became a part of me. And there were like 2 very different parts of me. It was like I was living a double life. And though I was and I am Sudanese Australian, I was more Sudanese at home and I was more Australian outside of the home. It wasn't until we came to Geelong that things kind of shifted a little. When we came here, we found communities instantly. Our need or our sense of belonging was like instantly met. And in those communities were people from all walks of life, people from different backgrounds, people who spoke different languages, people of all ages and skin tones and beliefs and religion. They all came together, living in this great city, contributing to the culture and making it what it is today. I found that as I grew in Geelong, my Sudanese culture that often stayed at home and in the confines of other Sudanese communities began to trickle into my everyday Australian life. And I also found that the native Australian in me was no longer a part of me, but it is who I am. My culture and the Australian culture shaped me to be who I am today. The culture at home, the Sudanese culture at home and the Australian culture outside of the home kind of met and collided and became like a hybrid mix of the 2. making a unique culture that kind of nurtured me, taught me, shaped me to be who I am today, shaped my thoughts, my opinions. It's a mix of who my parents and grandparents are, where they grew up. It's a mix of who I am and where I am growing up. I am Kashaka Ketch. And I'm a Sudanese Australian immigrant. And culture to me is not one thing or another. It's a huge bubble of things, huge bubble of people, places, communities, songs. Culture to me is a force, but also an energy. A force that makes you who you are, but an energy that also feeds off of your input, feeds off of who you are, in order to evolve and manifest and take a different form than before. Culture is something that gives, but also it's something that is created. It goes like this. It's a cycle, you know? It's like it's created, and it influences. Created, influences. It's a cycle of creation and influence. I think that's all I have to say. I kind of really enjoyed filming this stripped down version of my Intern Diaries. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you if you are thinking of submitting your entry in the short film festival. Thank you so much again for catching up with me this week. I'll see you next week for, I don't know what next week's video is gonna be, but I'll see you next week for next week's, let's try that again, shall we? I'll see you next week for next week's video. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've been Kashaka Ketch, coming to you from 94.7 The Pulse. Bye.